Welcome to Beans, Bangers and Mash. I'm your host Mash, and today we are doing the Harry Potter film ranking. This doesn't include anything from Fantastic Beasts. We are basically ranking those 8 films, those 8 original films. Now Harry Potter is definitely one of my favorite franchises of all time, of just how detailed the stories are and just how amazing the overall wizarding world is. The wizarding world, the Muggleborns, the purebloods. I mean, there's just so much within the Harry Potter world, and this is all about one boy named Harry Potter and one villain, Voldemort. But overall there are 8 films and they need to be ranked. I've been really excited to really actually make this video and give you my thoughts, because I know my opinions are going to be completely different to a lot of people's opinions. Like, you may have some movies that are actually pretty low that I have actually high, but I do love the Harry Potter films. I love the books as well. Now my ranking between the books and films would be completely fucking different, but of course Beans, Bangers and Mash is a fucking gaming and movie channel, not a book channel. But so we're gonna focus on the movies today. So coming in at number 8 is Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 1. This may be a little bit of a shock to you guys, but this movie fucking drags and drags. It really does, and there's not really much happening throughout this movie. Of course, in the Half-Blood Prince, where we see Snape kill Dumbledore and Malfoy become one of the Death Eaters, I believe Ron, Hermione and Harry don't even go to school. Dumbledore's objective towards Harry, Ron and Hermione is to actually find Voldemort's Horcruxes in order to be destroyed, because a Horcrux is basically one person splitting a soul into objects. Now Tom Riddle wanted to split his soul into 8 Horcruxes, being Harry Potter as one of them, since he didn't die when basically Voldemort killed Lily and James Potter. The reason why Harry survived was because Voldemort gave part of him to Harry, and that's why he survived, and that's why he got that fucking scar. But overall, it's a good film. It's a very good film, and there's not one bad Harry Potter film. Deathly Hallows is definitely a very different film. It really is. So Harry, Ron and Hermione trying to destroy Tom Riddle's Horcruxes. Throughout the movie, there's just a strange sensation of a build-up towards the climatic Deathly Hallows Part 2. The whole film revolves around the Horcruxes, of them trying to destroy the Horcrux, to actually find a locket. The locket that Dumbledore and Harry found in the caves was actually a fake, and all that was for fucking nothing. This is what made Dumbledore so weak in the Half-Blood Prince, because he had to drink that emerald green potion. But of course we're talking about Deathly Hallows. I'm rambling on and on of why I actually really enjoy this fucking film. I love the story of it. The story is absolutely fantastic, but I just feel it's the weakest. Now, in order to destroy the Horcruxes, you got to find one true source, and that is the Gryffindor sword. The Gryffindor sword, Harry kills the basilisk in the Chamber of Secrets, and that's when he wished upon that sword. So the Gryffindor sword comes again. Ron changes throughout the whole entire movie. Throughout the story, of course, we find what the Deathly Hallows is all about. I fucking can't remember the name, but it's Luna Lovegood's relation or something. And Lovegood tells Harry, Ron and Hermione the Deathly Hallows are 3 magical objects that can make a wizard master of death. And that overall is relating to Lord Voldemort. So overall, the Death Eaters, Lord Voldemort's followers, are starting to grow in strength, and Voldemort is starting to become a little bit stronger as he finally steals the Elder Wand from Dumbledore. And to end off the film in Deathly Hallows Part 1, when Voldemort uses that Elder Wand and shoots those lightning jets up in the sky, it is a fucking fantastic cinematic masterpiece, especially that scene. One thing I forgot to mention was the sad moment of Dobby's death. So sad. Definitely one of the most emotional scenes of a Harry Potter film. I'm really rambling on. So coming in at number 7 is The Order of the Phoenix. A lot of people adore this film. I just feel this is slightly... oh fuck, I love the book. I really love the book. So when I fucking actually watched the movie, I was so fucking disappointed because they missed so much out. Now understand, this is close to be one of the shortest Harry Potter films. I think clocking around 2 hours. And they really fit a lot. This fucking movie lacks, it really does. We get the Order of Phoenix reforms. We get Lupin, we get Sirius Black, we get a lot of other who is part of the Order of the Phoenix. This is all about Harry Potter becoming a teacher, secretly training others for that second Wizardry War we're going to get throughout Deathly Hallows Part 2. So this is all about Harry Potter training his students. What's also a very sad moment throughout this film is that actually Sirius Black fucking dies. He dies, and this is Harry Potter's godfather. And of course, we all know who Sirius Black is. He was once a villain, but of course Sirius Black becomes a good guy. And Sirius Black really treats Harry with respect, and there's a great love relationship between them. So it's actually heartbreaking when Bellatrix Lestrange actually kills Sirius Black. Avada Kedavra! And he just dies and just floats in the veil. This actual movie is all about no one believing Harry Potter. No one believing Harry Potter that he who must not be named is back. After Triwizard Cup was actually a portkey to lead on to Voldemort's confrontation with Harry Potter and Peter Pettigrew, basically revitalizing Voldemort. Peter Pettigrew and Voldemort actually fucking killed Cedric Diggory in the graveyard. And this is when Voldemort becomes really fucking strong. But of course, we don't see much of Voldemort throughout this film. At the end, you get a great duel fight with Dumbledore and Voldemort at the Ministry of Magic. And finally, we get Cornelius Fudge finally accepting that Voldemort is back. He's back after Dumbledore, after Harry has told this fucker that Voldemort is back. But of course, we get this hilarious comedian, Dolores Umbridge, who is a fucking total bitch. She really is. She is the professor. I just feel that Dolores Umbridge should have been a better character on this film. Now we move on to number 6, and it is The Chamber of Secrets. Now, The Chamber of Secrets is a fucking fantastic film. This is the sequel as well, and I just really love it. Now, a lot of people fucking hate this film. I don't know why they hate this film. It's basically a knowledge of Tom Riddle, and Tom Riddle is Voldemort. And we get Ginny Weasley doing Tom Riddle's dirty work, writing over blood messages on the wall. Ginny Weasley is Tom Riddle's pet, and we see that. And we see, of course, the flying car scene with Harry and Ron trying to get to Hogwarts, since Dobby actually sealed platform 9 3/4. I just love the scene. How they think they're going through that brick wall at King's Cross Station, then they crash into that brick wall. It's so good. Then we know that Harry Potter knows Parseltongue, and his knowledge of knowing Parseltongue scares a lot of people because everyone thinks that he should have been in Slytherin. And this is all about the Slytherin and Gryffindor debate, and even the Sorting Hat says that he should have been in Slytherin, but Harry Potter says, "You're wrong, fucker. You're wrong. I am Gryffindor." And of course, throughout the story, we finally see Hagrid's pet, and this is Aragog. And Aragog is such an important part of Hagrid's life. Fucking really good story, and it's a scary film as well. We finally see Moaning Myrtle, who is the ghost of a women's toilet, and this is the actual opening, the entrance of the Chamber of Secrets, where finally we get Tom Riddle and the Basilisk. The Basilisk is that monster that is petrifying those students throughout the movie, and even petrifies Hermione as well. But throughout the whole entire movie, we get this whole character profile of Malfoy becoming who we think he is, and he is just a pure blood. I think it's in the books that a lot of people think it's Malfoy or either Harry Potter petrifying these students. Of course, we get the finale where Harry Potter actually fights this basilisk. He summons that sword of Gryffindor and he fights this basilisk. And of course, he actually kills the basilisk, and we finally get one of the first Horcruxes that Voldemort pulled himself in, and that is Tom Riddle's diary. Who can ever forget that fucking Fang into that diary as all the ink spilled out? So fucking good. And I just love how they flash back. I love the Tom Riddle relationship with actual Hagrid. It's a really good fucking film. So I'm going to really speed this up because I'm just rambling non-stop. Number 5 is Philosopher's Stone. This is the first Harry Potter film, and basically it's one of the best films, and I just love it. The reason why I feel it's better than Chamber of Secrets is because it has a much more structural story. Chamber of Secrets seems like it was all over the place, but of course we get a set stone story about the boy who lived, Harry Potter, the boy who lived, and we have one villain, Lord Voldemort, that killed Harry Potter's parents. We finally see that Harry Potter at first is just a normal English boy living at his aunts and uncles, the Dursleys, and of course he gets absolutely treated like shit. And of course we get these continuous letters coming in, and of course the Dursley knows what's happening. The Wizarding World is trying to call him. So of course they try and run away, but Hagrid finds them, and this is when history begins. This is when we see Harry Potter meet Ron and Hermione. This is brilliant. And we finally get to know what the Philosopher's Stone is throughout the film. And the Philosopher's Stone is ideally becoming immortal. I actually can't remember the character's name. One individual that had the Philosopher's Stone that lived for like 900 years. So it's an immortal stone. We find out later that Professor Quirrell has actually become the first Horcrux for Voldemort. This is interesting, really interesting, because we get the two faces. We get Voldemort and we get Professor Quirrell looking upon that mirror, on the mirror of her eyes. And throughout this whole entire film, you get a great relationship with Ron, Harry, Hermione. And we finally get to see some chess, wizarding chess, and we finally get to see the cutest three-headed dog you could ever possibly see, and it's Fluffy. I just love how Hagrid also tells children the clues. Oh, I shouldn't have said that. Just play Fluffy a little bit of harp, and he falls straight to sleep. Oh, I shouldn't have said that. But what is not as high for me for Philosopher's Stone is the CGI. When you're watching it again, it seems outdated, and the acting isn't as great. Okay, so coming in at number 4 is The Goblet of Fire. Now, a lot of people don't like this film, and I don't understand why you don't like this film, because it's such a good fucking film, and I absolutely adored this book. Believe it or not, this is my actual favorite Harry Potter book, The Goblet of Fire. I absolutely love it, and I think it's definitely, this is the introduction of the Death Eaters. We finally see those Death Eaters hit at the most awkward time, and that is the Quidditch World Cup. If you could actually put this in reality, it would seem like it was a terrorist attack. The Death Eaters were terrorizing the Wizarding World, and this was the return of Voldemort. This movie was the return of Voldemort. I don't understand how people don't like this. Voldemort returns, especially at the end. Of course, we get this whole tournament in Hogwarts called the Triwizard Tournament, and we see the introduction of Mad-Eye Moody. And of course, Mad-Eye Moody isn't Mad-Eye Moody, as he's absolutely obsessed with Polyjuice Potion, and he is actually, in the end, Barty Crouch Jr., Barty Crouch's son. And I'm not going to delve deep into this story. Of course, Barty Crouch Jr. actually puts Harry Potter's name in the Goblet of Fire, which Harry Potter shouldn't actually have been in it. And everyone absolutely hates Harry throughout this film, and not to mention the hairstyle. Everyone's going shaggy in this film. They really are, because everyone's got fucking long hair. And of course, the reason why it's not high is because it's so much, there's a lot of teen drama. Sometimes it feels like watching 13 Reasons Why, watching all this teen drama unfolding. And we also see Ron absolutely jealous with Harry, and they fight, and there's a lot of things happening. But of course we get that maze where everyone just turns, and the Triwizard Cup is actually a portkey that leads to this graveyard where we finally see that resurrection of Voldemort, where Peter Pettigrew resurrects Voldemort by giving his own hand, and we finally see Nagini as well. It's definitely one of the darkest films by Harry Potter, definitely one of the darkest, and I feel that's definitely one of the staple films to actually cement what the story is about. We get Cedric Diggory that actually dies, and everyone thinks that Harry Potter actually killed Cedric Diggory. I actually never forget when Harry Potter and actually Voldemort's wands actually collide, called Period Incantatum. Finally we see all the Patronuses and everything, and even Lily and James speaking to Harry as he's dueling Voldemort. And of course he says Accio, actually Triwizard Cup comes back, and everyone's clapping. I realize that Harry actually brought Cedric Diggory back dead. And everyone thinks that Harry Potter is actually the killer. And especially the Ministry of Magic thinks that Harry Potter is the killer. Coming in at number 3 is Half-Blood Prince. Now this is a fucking fantastic film, and a lot of people don't really enjoy this as well. I don't know why a lot of people don't really enjoy this. This is definitely a continuation of the Order of the Phoenix, but of course we don't actually see Lord Voldemort present on this film, we basically see the Death Eaters just absolutely causing havoc throughout this film. Well, of course, we see Harry Potter discover the diary of the Half-Blood Prince, which later becomes Snape. It's at this stage, everyone doesn't really like Snape. The viewer doesn't really like Snape, but we actually find out that Snape was actually a pretty good person, especially in Deathly Hallows Part 2. But what is absolutely a shock factor is the death of Dumbledore. The death of Dumbledore. Lord Voldemort orders Malfoy to actually assassinate Dumbledore. But of course, Malfoy doesn't have the guts, and Snape actually kills Dumbledore. And that is a huge shock. Harry honestly can't believe what he's just seen. Throughout the entire war, throughout Hogwarts, which it was a war in the book, it was sort of more laid back in the movies, but it was a full-on war in the books. I never forget when Harry says, "Fight me, coward, fight me," to Severus Snape as he runs into the Forbidden Forest. It's such a really good film. It's such a deep story to it. We also learn about Tom Riddle's past as well. And we finally see the introduction of the Pensieve and Slughorn. And Slughorn finally gives you that memory. About him telling Tom Riddle about the Horcruxes. The Horcruxes, how one person can split their soul. And Tom Riddle, of course, asks Slughorn, can we split into 7? Slughorn absolutely goes berserk. And we find that Tom Riddle actually does split it into 7 and even fucking 8. Who can ever forget about the cave scene when Dumbledore and Harry venture into this lonely island in the middle of the caves, and you finally see this emerald green potion, and what Dumbledore has to do is actually fucking drink it all. He becomes incredibly weak. The moment the cup hits the green emerald potion, we get zombies rising from the lakes. Dumbledore becomes incredibly weak, and Harry just keeps feeding him that potion until they get that Lockhart. We soon realize that the Lockhart is actually fake, and this is Regulus Black's Lockhart. The real Lockhart is actually with Dolores Umbridge, which we get in Deathly Hallows Part 1. But it's just such a chaotic movie, it really is. I just love also the scene with Malfoy and Harry in the toilets. And there's a huge battle going on, and Harry says Sectum Sempra. Sectum Sempra, which makes Malfoy just bleed non-stop. In the actual book, it's absolutely frightening, the description in the book, how he just busts open bleeding. In the movie, it's much more subtle, but it's Snape's spell, of course. This is definitely one of the best movies. So coming in at number 2 is Deathly Hallows Part 2. Deathly Hallows Part 1 was a little bit of disappointment to me. It was just a slow build up towards this climatic event. And this is Deathly Hallows Part 2. A fantastic fucking film. We finally get to see the Battle of Hogwarts. We finally see an absolutely incredible battle. The battle we all wanted. And this is when it's full out war. This is the second Wizardry War. This is all about Voldemort, Death Eaters, and Harry Potter's side. Harry Potter is the fucking chosen one. He's the chosen one to lead him to victory. And we finally realize that Harry Potter is a Horcrux. There are so many people, there are so many beloved characters that die. Fred Weasley dies, we get Tonks that dies as well. Professor Lupin dies, I think Mad-Eye Moody dies as well. There's just so much stuff happening throughout this movie. I think they did it so well, this fucking movie, they really did. And this is why it's better than the actual book. When I read the Deathly Hallows, I felt it was so rushed, the ending. I was so disappointed. I was just so disappointed about the ending. But when I watched the movie though, I was so satisfied that they actually had this ending. Of course, we get the amazing battle between Voldemort and Harry again with the Pyrrhic Incantatem, wands clashing again. Voldemort actually using the Outer Wand. And at first Harry actually dies, but then he's resurrected. And I don't think it's without Neville Longbottom's help that actually kills Voldemort's last Horcrux. And that is Nagini. Just the overall scene, how Neville Longbottom just slices Nagini in half and he just disappears. So damn good, that scene. I fucking love that scene. I just love Nagini's death. Love Nagini's death. Love Voldemort's death as well. So damn good. And of course, at the end, we get 19 years later, where it basically becomes full circle. We get Harry, Ron, and Hermione farewelling their children on the Hogwarts Express. It becomes full circle. And it's just a fantastic conclusion to such a beautiful franchise. And finally, number 1, we get The Prisoner of Azkaban. This is indeed my favorite movie of Harry Potter. This movie is a fucking masterpiece. It really is. We see the introduction of Dementors. We see also the Patronus, which is definitely one of the most important factors of Harry Potter. And we finally see the introduction of Wormtail, aka Peter Pettigrew. We finally see the introduction of Sirius Black, a mass murderer apparently, trying to kill Harry Potter. But we soon realize that Sirius isn't trying to kill Harry Potter at all. And there's just so much happening. We also see how humans also transform into animals and humans, such as Animagus. And of course, Professor Lupin becomes a werewolf once we see a full moon. Throughout the film, we finally see Buckbeak the hippogriff, half eagle, half horse, fucking beautiful creature. We also see the time travel. The time travel is so damn good. It's definitely one of the best made movies in my opinion with the time travel. It's also one of the funniest Harry Potter films as well. It's just so damn good, this movie. It's a masterpiece. And not to mention how scary it is. The cinematics are absolutely fucking brilliant. It's definitely a step up from all the other movies mentioned. It's just an absolutely amazing film. And the reason why they turn back time is because Harry needs to save Sirius before the Dementors actually suck his soul. So damn amazing story. Absolutely fucking love it. So guys, that's all for Harry Potter's movies ranked. Hope you did enjoy it. Make sure you drop your ranking as well for the best Harry Potter films. Do you agree or disagree in my opinion? Remember, this list is completely subjective. And comment below if you want to see some more Harry Potter related content. I could talk to you about Harry Potter non-stop. I could talk to you for hours and hours. But this video is going to be a very long video. Hope you did enjoy it. And I will see you in the next video.